Hello, welcome to TisTalk.
TisTalk is a community podcast from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. Hello, it's the 20th of April, Monday, and I'm Mary Myers.
And I'm Kate Gam.
Hi, Kate.
Hello, Mary.
Thanks for coming back to the Wardour studios of TisTalk.
Good to be here.
And we're recording this on Friday the 17th. Normally we start with a little bit of local news and a bit of national or international. So have you got anything for us?
Well, I have, and this is international news that I've just heard and I'm still just sort of processing it really. Driving over to meet you this afternoon, I've heard the news that Andy Kershaw has died, the former Radio 1 DJ and DJ with an interest in world music particularly. Yes. And it took me back to a time when, as you know, I used to be an event promoter at an arts centre in Cornwall. And I booked Andy Kershaw one time, and he's the sort of guy that doesn't have an agent. He just kind of, deals direct. And he was a bit tricky, to say the least. He turned up late, he turned up a bit tipsy. He was a bit tricky to deal with. But he then delivered the most fantastic illustrated lecture of his life in music.
Oh, great.
At university, booking bands and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Student radio, hospital radio, one thing led to another, and he had the career that he did. He
was a real hero of radio, wasn't he?
Really was.
Radio 1 mainly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
He liked to drink, and so after the concert he had a drink, and then he wanted another drink. So we tried to find another pub that was open, and none of the pubs were open. Anyway, he kind of got over that, and then subsequently he wrote to me, sent me a copy of his book to thank me for booking him, and said what a good evening it was. So it's one of those, he kind of gives a certain impression, but underneath that, he's a bit of a softie really. So I'm sad to hear that he's died aged 66.
Only 66.
Yeah.
That is sad. And local?
Okay, coming back to local. So about a month ago now, I went to a concert at Arundel's, former home of Ted Heath in Salisbury.
Yeah.
And it was an evening with Alistair McGowan, who is an impressionist, as you probably know. The event was called An Impressionist at the Piano, and he was playing a baby grand, which I take it was Ted Heath's old baby grand, which he's now learned to play the piano. So it was an evening of piano and his own poetry with some of his impressions thrown in. And of course, he is an excellent impressionist. So, we heard Harry Kane, Colin Firth, Monty Don and John Bishop.
His impressions.
But we didn't hear Ted Heath, to my surprise.
Right.
But it was charming, and it was a really nice evening and funny. Poetry was good. His piano playing, he's still kind of, getting there, but it was really, really nice to be there.
Nice.
And who should be in the audience but Michael Maxwell Steer, Tisbury legend, who was promoting the very same concert that's coming up on Thursday, the 4th of June at Dinton Hall. And this is in aid of the Cherubim Trust, which we've heard about before on TisTalk. Great. So I really recommend it. I thought it was a terrific evening.
Sounds like a must-see evening.
Really is. And I see on that particular lineup, it's not just Alistair McGowan. It's someone called David Owen is on tuba, and Alec Banner is on percussion. So you get much more for the Dinton concert that we did at Arundel's. So cherubimtrust.org/events is the website, and of course it's all in aid of the Cherubim Trust, which does very good work with emerging performers, as we know.
Charity. Good. Nice. Thanks very much. Well, we've got a great show for you today. First of all, we have Anne Martin talking to Jess Coughlan, who is the landlady at the Greater Good in Fovant.
We had a fantastic menu on, including oysters and things that we just don't usually do here, and it went down really well, and everyone had such a good time. It makes doing this very worthwhile when you see your pub being enjoyed in that manner.
Then I go down to Peter's farm again, Peter Shallcross, and meet some new calves. Oh, and look, here we've got 3 calves.
Yeah, so this is
lovely.
This is today's group.
We hear from Anne once again, having just been to Songs of War and Peace in support of Ukraine at St John's Church on Saturday.
And how do you find living in Salisbury?
Quiet and peaceful.
Quiet and peaceful.
Yeah.
That's important to you,
Yes,
isn't
exactly.
it?
And then just after the What's-Ons with Christabel Watts, we have a lovely Dusk Chorus that I recorded in Wardour. So enjoy the show. First up, we have Anne talking to Jess at the Greater Good, and it's her first anniversary.
I'm in the Greater Good in Fovant today talking to Jess, who's been running her pub for a year. And so much has happened during this year. So fill us in on some of the things that you've done during the year in the pub.
So yes, a year, it's flown by. The last year we've managed to develop several brilliant things, mainly around local community and creativity here. So our games night has turned into the Fovant Jammers on a Tuesday evening, where locals get together and they play a selection of genres of music and just try and learn how to harmonise with each other, which seems to be going very well. And our pub quiz is the last Thursday of every month.
And so you attract quite a lot of local people then to come and just have a drink in the pub. I get the feeling that you're not a sort of gourmet pub, you're a kind of basic pub food pub. Come in, have a drink, join in, have some pub food. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. Like around us there are beautiful pubs with beautiful menus and they're doing what they do really well. So we have kept our menu hearty and humble, enjoying the more simpler dishes of life, and it seems to be going very well. But for sure there's a specials board, and we've got wonderful people coming in to do pop-ups from the Woods Dining Company. They've done a couple already that have gone very well. So we do spice things up a bit here and there.
And you've also got an interest in art, haven't you? As I came in, I could see all this glass, wonderful coloured glass on the window. So tell us something about this.
Yes, we're so lucky in that there's a number of local artists who do exhibit their work here, and it's, a marketplace for them, if you like. And one of them is Andrew Debham. He does some glass fusion, and he's got his glass work in the window here. So he'll do a workshop actually on May the 11th to show people how to do the glass fusing, and he'll do others moving forward, including resin jewellery, and we're trying to encourage more people to come and use the beautiful space in the garden to do artwork over the summer. But at the moment the walls are covered in this beautiful artwork, and it's all for sale, and it is just to support the local artists.
That's absolutely fantastic. And the history of the pub, it has quite a history, doesn't it? And you want to find out more about it.
Yes, we'd love to know more about what the Pembroke Arms was. It's great hearing people's stories of days gone by, but I'd love to see photos and more history to put up. We have a lot in relation to the Fovant badges and what happened here during World War One, which is incredibly significant. Having grown up in Tisbury, I wasn't aware of it all. I am now, and it's on the walls here in the pub. So I've been trying to add to that, along with more recent history of times gone by here. It sounded like the Pembroke Arms was quite the adventure for many over the years. Some people have come in and said that their parents were born here upstairs, or to have the stories. So anything like that, I've been trying to reach out to people to come and tell us their stories of what was here, and maybe we could display, if possible, on the wall some photos or stories of other people.
Yes, so if you have relatives that have been to the pub or the pub in bygone days, please get in touch with TisTalk and we can put you in touch with Jess. And she'd love to have more pictures in the pub and more memories of the pub. So tell us about some of the events you've had, like Burns Night. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, Burns Night was so fun. So we celebrated Burns Night at request of some of the locals here. That's how it all came about. And in the end, we had a pub full of people reading poetry together. They were singing a lot of the traditional songs. The bagpipes were here, and I initially thought they might be quite overpowering in the building, but they weren't. They were so fun with the drums. We had a fantastic menu on, including oysters and things that we just don't usually do here, and it went down really well, and everyone had such a good time. It makes doing this very worthwhile when you see your pub being enjoyed in that manner, and the poetry as well is quite nice. I hadn't really experienced Rabbie Burns very much, but it was a fantastic night, probably one of the best here so far.
And Christmas and New Year, you were telling me about that. That was also quite uplifting.
Yeah, well, it's a cosy pub. You know, we're very candlelit during the winter. So coming up to Christmas, it was quite a magical vibe. Everyone's happy. You know, it's a celebratory time of year anyway. So, and the pub hadn't been open for a few of the Christmases before that. So there was a real sense of community, you know, brightness. It was happy. It was a happy time.
And in the garden, are you going to encourage families to come in the summer then into the garden and have drinks and food in the garden?
100%, yeah. The garden's beautiful, and it's, you know, terraced, so it goes up, and you can go up there. It's got lots of different chapters. People like to sit. You can sit down on the decking, you know, which is very accessible, or if you get up the steps into the garden, it's beautiful up there. So for sure, we'd love people to use it for, you know, eating, drinking. We're trying to organise a form of Tai Chi or
Qigong
in there, but that's not confirmed. But it's definitely something I'd like to do at least weekly over the summer up there.
That sounds lovely atmosphere to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you also have some rooms here, don't you?
We've got 2 rooms upstairs and a flat on the decking, so they will be advertised through our website and Airbnb. And yeah, hopefully that will provide some good fun for people for the summer. We're very involved with Fovant Village Fete, which has been resurrected and happening this year. So July 18th.
July the 18th. Good, fantastic.
Sponsoring it, we're doing the bar in an old fire engine, which looks incredible. It's got a Prosecco pump in it, which I didn't even know existed. That's amazing. And then the barbecue as well. And we're the drop-off point for anything to do with the bric-a-brac, the raffle. There's a few things which we listed on our website shortly of what we're looking for, but we are the drop-off point for that.
Gosh, I admire your enthusiasm. In addition to running a pub, all the daily chores of, you know, putting on the drink and cooking the food, you're doing all these other activities as well. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
This is TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Sounds like a really good place to visit. And what's really stayed with me was when Jess talks about the menu being hearty and humble. I thought that was a really nice way of phrasing it. So she acknowledges we've got the chickpeas and we've got the Beckfords and they do what they do. And the greater good is trying to do something different, you know, real pub food. And I thought that's just sounded really nice, as does the Fovant Village Fete on the 18th of July, and the way that the greater good is supplying a bar in a fire engine.
Yes, a pump of Prosecco coming out of a fire engine. Amazing. Anyway, now for something completely different, to coin a phrase. I went down to Warmead Farm a few days ago to meet some new calves belonging to Peter Shallcross. All right, we're at Warmead Farm with Peter, and it's a lovely bright Monday morning, and we're just getting into the cow shed, one of the cow sheds. How do I close? Shall I close this?
No, we need to just leave that.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. And we're in with the pregnant and
calving cows.
Calving cows. Yeah. All right, we're in very deep straw here, and there are about, how many here? 20?
About 20, yeah.
Friendly looking cows here.
Yeah, this one's having a good scratch.
All right, yes. And this one, I suppose, is pregnant.
Yeah, very pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is actually a mistake. You can see how fat she is and how black. She's actually half Angus.
Right.
So she's half a beef animal.
Okay, so that was a mistake on your part, or the AI man, or whoever?
Something like that. When the calf popped out, we thought it was a milking calf, and it's not.
Right. Yeah, she's quite small, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the Angus in her, or the other side?
Probably the Angus, yeah.
Right. Oh, and look, here we've got 3 calves.
Yeah, so this is...
Lovely.
This is today's group. So we've got 2 Angus, one sucking the mum.
Yes.
And one's behind. This is another mother mooing.
Mooing,
because the gate's still closed, so she can't easily get back, so we'll open that.
Okay, so one of these is hers?
Yeah, she's only got one of them.
Right.
And I don't actually know which one it is, because they cross foster as well. That probably is the right one there.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to get between this one behind us and her calf, is that what's happening there?
Well,
No?
we have to be wary, but
Yes.
dairy cows are they're very dozy and
Right.
and sweet. So I've never been attacked by one.
No.
No.
Okay.
So we'll just
All right.
open this gate and let this one through.
Right. So this is a mum who's rushing in to see her calf.
So she's not the mother. She's just
Oh.
a nanny.
Oh.
Yeah, she's just very interested in other people's calves.
Okay. She's apparently not the mum. She's rushing in. She's a nanny. She's just interested in other cows' calves.
Eating
Okay.
the fresh food.
So this non-mum is more interested in those calves than the actual mums.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is
It
that?
happens, and it's very
Yeah.
confusing sometimes.
Yeah. It must be. Great. So when were these calves born?
Colin's milk this morning. He said there were 2 from yesterday, and then one, probably the one that's sucking now, is one born this morning.
Wow. So just a few hours old.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, you
of
can see it, she,
You
he.
can see it's a boy.
The boy, yes,
Yeah.
he's a bit still damp and wet.
Yes.
Hello, there's another one behind us here. Is she a mum, do you think?
Not yet. No.
Right,
She's just
okay. Hello.
friendly.
Yeah, so Peter's just pulling her ears and friendlily stroking her head.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's what she's come for.
Right, are you pleased with last night's crop then?
Yes, they're all healthy. All healthy. The mums
calves.
look good. That's
Great.
another mother there. You can see by the udders full
Yeah,
up with milk.
really full. When will she be back in the milking parlour? You keep her with the calf for how long?
For as long as I can, which is only really a week.
Right.
And then so we put mum and calf in the like a small box, and then the mother will go out with the milking herd and come back and suckle the calf twice a day.
Right.
And because there's 3 calves, probably I'll only leave 2 mothers in there. They'll cross suckle.
Right.
And I haven't got enough room to keep them in there any longer. There'll be more calves to come out.
So 3 calves in 24 hours, is that unusual?
It's not unusual, but it's more than the average. So there's
Right.
usually one every 2 days or something.
Yes.
2 every 3 days.
And then the calves go in together, don't they? And they get looked after by your daughter. Is she still doing that?
Yes, once after the week's over, then they get separated from their mum, and Caroline looks after them. Then
Yes.
they get put in with all the other calves.
And then what happens? The males and females are always separated? Or no, all the calves are female, is that right?
No. So
No.
all the dairy replacements are heifers. They're females.
Right.
So they all get kept.
Yes.
And then the bulls can be either male or female. Sorry, the beef.
Yeah.
And when they're sort of 2 weeks old, then I sell them to our neighbour,
And they get passed on, sold on to...
to another farmer at Berwick St John.
Right.
And he rears them until beef, which is about 2.5 years old.
Right. And what about the female ones? They also are
Female
for beef?
beef, yep, they're all the same.
Yes.
All the same for beef, yeah.
Right, okay.
He'll make more money out of the males because they grow faster and their meat is slightly better.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you.
You can find all our episodes on tistalk.co.uk.
Up next, we have Anne Martin, who went along to St John's Church on Saturday evening to see the Songs of War and Peace concert in aid of Ukraine.
I'm in St John's Church today at the end of an absolutely fantastic concert. We had a soprano, Elissa Edwards, singing for us, and we also had poems in Ukrainian. And it was wonderful to hear the Ukrainian language. It was so expressive. And we also sampled Ukrainian wine. And I'm here now with the singer and with some of the Ukrainians to talk about the experience of coming to Tisbury. So, Elissa, you came all the way to Tisbury from America and from a kind of a place in America that has a very close link with us. So can you tell us something about this?
Yes, my husband and I live in Washington, D.C., and we actually live in Maryland, which is just outside in Anne Arundel County, which is, of course, connected to your Arundel family here. locally.
That's fantastic. Apparently you visited Wardour Castle recently and there was no mention of Anne Arundel County. So how did you come to be in Tisbury and perform for us?
Well, I was visiting over the summer with my friend Brian Robbins, who's a music critic and a dear friend, and I actually stayed with Maggie and Quentin Edwards on their Cools farm, and they invited me back to perform on the concert series here, and it just worked out well with my kind of season concert schedule.
Fantastic. And I've got the Ukrainians here who read poetry with such great feeling. And I'm going to talk to one of them. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Olena.
Oh, great. And where do you live?
In Salisbury.
In Salisbury, that's fantastic. And how did you get to come to Tisbury to read your poetry?
We are very grateful for inviting us, and also we are grateful for constant support of our country by the UN. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you're all from Salisbury? You all live in Salisbury, do you?
Yes,
Yes. But where are you from in Ukraine then?
From Kyiv.
From Kyiv? Are you all from Kyiv?
I'm from Kyiv too. No,
Yes.
Not all of us.
Good. Okay. And how do you find living in Salisbury?
Quiet and peaceful.
Quite
we
a
saw
peace.
cats, yeah.
That's important to you,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
I think we really valued the fact that you came and you read the poems in Ukrainian. And even though we didn't understand the Ukrainian, actually it was terribly meaningful, and we had the words as well. And I think a lot of people in the audience were quite surprised. Think, oh, we don't actually understand Ukrainian, but we got the feeling.
Oh, yeah. That was we're trying to pass to the audience. Yeah,
did you do much rehearsal to it?
Twice, yeah, we did. Yeah, honestly, yeah, we were rehearsing. Yes, thank you so much for inviting us also to join your concert.
Oh, of course. It was.
Yeah, thank you all very much for coming anyway to Tisbury. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Мені однаково, чи буду я жити в Україні, чи ні. Чи хто згадає, чи забуде.
And that was the beginning of a Ukrainian poem called Indifference. It is all one to me, indeed, if I live in Ukraine or live there not at all. Whether or not men let my memory die, here in an alien land, mid snows piled high, it will not matter that such things befall. And thanks to soloist Elissa Edwards and all the performers of that concert that was organised on Saturday, April the 18th at St John's Church, Songs of War and Peace, money raised, all going to charities in Ukraine. And next we have Christabel with the What's On listings.
Here's what's on in Tisbury and surrounding villages from Monday the 20th of April to Sunday the 26th of April 2026. On Monday the 20th, the Seeds for Success Health and Wellbeing session will run from 7:30 till 9 p.m. at the Nadder Centre. This is a weekly session for young people where they can take part in a variety of physical activities as well as art therapy and healthy cooking. On Tuesday the 21st, Tisbury Netball Club meet between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. at the Nadder Centre. For over 14s, all abilities welcome, turn up or contact 07805 644 881. On Wednesday the 22nd, the Fonthill Park Cricket Club have their first home game of the season against Earlstoke, starting at 6 p.m. On Thursday the 23rd at 9 a.m, the TisBus weekly shopping run to Gillingham via Shaftesbury will pick members up from your door and return you afterwards. Call coordinator Dave Milas on 07500 802 525 for details about joining. The monthly RNID near you hearing aid support session will be at the Methodist Church from 10 till 11:30 a.m, including retubing and cleaning hearing aids and batteries. Join Dr. Kinlan for her focus session on memory loss, Alzheimer's and dementia at 4 p.m. in Fovant Village Hall. There will be an afternoon tea with wildlife photography from 2:30 till 4:15 p.m. at Victoria Hall, Tisbury. Then, on Friday the 24th, the regular term time baby and preschooler group Wardour Wee Ones is on at Wardour School from 9:30 till 10:45 a.m. Join them for fun activities and a cup of tea. Costs £1 per family, no booking required. There is art group life drawing in the Chilmark Reading Room at 10:30 a.m. For more details, contact Rose Chapman on rosechapmaneva@gmail.com. Harry's on the Square have a cocktail night from 6 till 9 p.m. Join them for a boozy night and some sharer boards. Email to book a table at harrys_on_the_square@outlook.com or just show up. It's Friday night jazz at the Victoria Hall with the John Lloyd Quartet at 7:30 p.m. Go to newvictisbury.com for details and tickets. On Saturday the 25th, Tisbury Youth Dance Group's creative dance fitness classes take place every Saturday morning during term time at the Victoria Hall. Classes are for both boys and girls of any ability and explore different types of movement and dance. Contact Wendy on 07765 089 667 for more information. On Sunday the 26th, Fonthill House has an open garden for charity from 12 till 5 p.m. Wonderful woodland walks with daffodils, rhododendrons, azaleas, shrubs and bulbs, as well as light refreshments. £10 for adults and free for children. You can pre-book on the National Garden Scheme website www.ngs.org.uk or turn up and pay on the day. A new family session called Come Together will run at the Methodist Church from 3:30 till 4:30 p.m. and alternating Sundays after that, with crafts, songs and stories with Donkey. An RBO recording of The Magic Flute will be shown at 5 p.m. at Victoria Hall. See their website for tickets. And that's all for the What's On listings. Have a great week.
And looking a little further ahead, we want to mention a lecture about the artist L.S. Lowry that's coming up on the 13th of May. This is being given by Sean Moran, well-known Tisbury resident, amateur actor and National Gallery guide. It's in aid of the Young Arts section of the Nadder Valley Art Society and promises to be an interesting and delicious afternoon because tea and homemade cake is included in the price of the lecture. I'll be talking with Sean about Lowry at greater length on TisTalk in a few weeks' time, but meanwhile here's a little teaser from Sean that should whet your appetite if you haven't already got tickets.
There are also a set of controversial paintings that not many people know about. They're very rarely talked about because they are quite controversial. And if you are a fan of Lowry, they're quite difficult to look at. But I am going to share some of those images and talk about them in the lecture on the 13th of May.
Are you going to reveal what they are now, or are you going to let...
No. I think in order that we sell the last few seats, you need to come and find out what these controversial paintings are. Completely innocent, by the way. There's nothing perverse. They are quite shocking.
So that lecture on L.S. Lowry is at 3 p.m. on Wednesday the 13th of May at the Nadder Centre. If you would like to book a seat, then please email naddervalley@theartsociety.org or call Sean on 07929 609 604.
You can find all our episodes on tistalk.co.uk.
And of course there is so much that is going on here, whether it's concerts or films or whatever. But of course there's always the Dawn or Dusk Chorus that you can listen to for free in this wonderful area of ours. And I recorded these birds one night last week in Wardour. It was just about 7:30, 8. It was getting a bit dark. And it's almost as if they sing to kind of say to each other, let's go to bed, let's go to bed.
Yes,
Or
I've noticed that in my garden in Tisbury, that there's a dawn chorus and there's a dusk chorus.
Yeah.
There's a getting up and there's a going to bed.
So enjoy these birds and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.